You know, sometimes it feels like we're getting kicked while we're down. Well, I have come to tell you that sometimes we are getting kicked while we're down. In 1 Thessalonians chapter 3, verse 5, Paul the apostle says, "For this reason, when I could no longer endure it, I sent to know your faith, lest by some means the tempter had tempted you." And so Paul here, he mentions the serpent, Lucifer, Satan, the dragon. In Thessalonians 2:18, Paul says that he hindered us. And so he tells us that there's sometimes that Satan, he comes and he hinders us. Well, here we find out that he tempts us. In 2 Thessalonians 2:9, we find out he's the deceiver. And so he's the hinderer, the tempter, the deceiver. And so Paul sees that there is an enemy and his work is present. The enemy was hindering Paul's own ministry and others' lives as well. And so Paul's aware. Satan's aware of you as well. When you're going through the hardest times of your life, he's aware of that. Now, for most of us, that hard time isn't persecution, physical beatings, or imprisonment, but for some of us, it's persecution by friends and family. Sometimes it's that doctor's report, or you lose your job, or foreclosure on the house. Things do come into our lives that leave us saying, "Lord, if you love me, why is my marriage or my home breaking up, Lord? It's more than I can bear. If you're real and you love me," well, that's at that time the hinderer, the tempter, the deceiver, the enemy, he doesn't come and say, I just love a fair fight. This Christian over here, he's down and out. She's down and out. I should wait until they get back on their feet, get in shape, get rehabbed, and then we'll go a few more rounds. We'll go at it again. No. It's when we are at our worst, when we're broken and tempted and doubting and, wondering if God's all-powerful or if He's loving it all. Well, that's when Satan comes. And Paul, he comes and he's very aware of the tactics of the devil, how he works. Paul says again in 2 Thessalonians, we are not ignorant of his devices. Paul says we know how he works. And so the devil, he comes, and that's when he comes and he says, "Oh yeah, you're telling everybody about the gospel. You're telling everybody about God's love and how He gave His only Son. But if He loves you so much, how come this stuff is going on in your life? If He loves you so much, how come you lost your job? Or how come you're losing that relationship?" And he comes and he whispers, "You must be really messing up. If God is a God of love and He's allowing this stuff to come into your life, well, it means He's punishing you." And then you're searching in your mind, is it because of this or is it because of these things? Let me tell you something right here and right now. All the punishment is over. 2,000 years ago on a cross in Israel on Calvary, the punishment was given. God disciplines His children, we know that, but He doesn't punish us. Jesus bore our punishment so we wouldn't have to bear it. And so the devil's devices. He comes and he misrepresents God's love, God's care, God's word. And so Paul says, we know his devices. And he also says, resist the devil and he will flee from you.